What's going on, guys? Welcome to the second podcast. Non-league footballers, home of football culture, baby. You know where it's at. And let's talk about some footy. Let's go.
Let's go. What are the topics for today, Gio?
So today, Pete, we'll start off with some Champions League, buddy.
We'll go game by game, how we think it's going to go out. So we're thinking about doing a little point system. We each get a point for every game that we guess right, and then maybe loser has to do something at the end. So let's start with the first game.
Quick question, Pete. Do you guys want to do it where we pick game by game, or do you want to do it who advances?
Let's do advances.
We'll do advances. I like that.
Okay, because I feel like that's a little bit easier, to be honest.
Yeah, just
I like that. All right, so first game we got Salzburg versus Bayern. Start up in Luca, the top left corner.
You want me to go first, you said?
Go ahead.
So, I'm going to be honest. I don't really need to explain much. I just feel like Bayern's, probably one of the title favorites. So I'm going to pick them to beat Salzburg.
Plain simple. Big.
Yeah, the method Messi's kind of trying to persuade me a little bit, Salzburg. They're pretty good. Aronson, I don't think he has what it takes to beat the likes of Bayern, so I'm going to go with Bayern as well.
Yeah, Salzburg is a nice little young team, up and coming, but it's Bayern. At the end of the day, they just have world-class players in every position, so I'm taking Bayern in that one.
I guess I got to be that guy who's just going to go against what you guys are saying.
Here we go.
I got to represent my boy Brendan Aronson, the podcast. Also, Adeyemi up top, scoring goals. He's been popping off. So I'm just gonna go and say maybe they get away with it, and then Salzburg can go through. So.
I think they could take one win, but I don't think they win over two legs.
Boys, I think you're reaching there. I feel like Bayern might dominate them. As much as I'd want Brendan Aronson to succeed, I don't think it happens.
Yeah,
at home it's gonna be really tough.
Yeah, I still wouldn't go with really tough. Dude, you got to look at the lineup that Bayern has. Don't get me wrong. I know Salzburg is informed. They're a young group, so obviously they're more they're passionate. But dude, you have Lewandowski, Thomas Muller, Leroy Sané,
the best of the best on that team.
They're lights out right now, especially.
And, wait a minute, didn't Barca lose to Bayern 8-2 at home? By the way, last season in the Champions League. So
Yeah. If Rich was here right now, we'd be flaming him. But
they played them more recently in the Champions as well, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They won.
They're in that group. Yeah.
So Sporting City, again, I feel like big team against a small team again. But
yeah. Sporting did well. I don't know about you guys, but I didn't really predict them to make it out because Dortmund was in that group as well. But I gotta give it to City again. This team's too good. I don't think Sporting could defend them at all. I feel like City could probably advance on aggregate 7-1, to be honest, because they tend to beat up those teams.
Yeah.
I'd say the same thing. City, I think it just came out that they have the most goals in one calendar year they ever had, which is crazy. So they're in crazy form. Sporting's a good club, but they're not really going to compete, I don't think. I think it could be another blowout, kind of like Bayern Salzburg. So I'll go City as well.
I'm going to go with this matchup is actually going to be a lot closer than Salzburg-Bayern, just because that guy Pedro Goncalves or whatever his name is, he is lights out, dude. Go watch him play. The minute the ball touches his foot, you need two dudes to keep an eye on him. So, I think Man City will probably go through on this, but I would not count Sporting out. I don't think they're going to massacre them like you guys think they will.
I like that, Pete. I like that. I still think, obviously, City's going to go through. But Pep tends to go quarterfinal every year and then lose regardless.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. But
that's fair.
And that's another reason why I'm saying, I would not – I wouldn't – if you're a betting man, do not bet on this. Because they could definitely...
Are you taking Sporting then?
No, I'm taking Manchester City, but I'm saying it's going to be a lot closer than a lot of people think. You watch.
What do you think's going to be the aggregate score then, Pete? Do you think that Sporting takes a game, or
I don't think.
Give us a prediction.
prediction on aggregate, I'm gonna go with 5-3.
I'll take 4-1.
I like that. I think you just held up 5-1 though, so you got to double check.
No, I didn't. I did a 4-1. You need to get your eyes checked.
Benfica Ajax. What do you think of that game? I feel like this is a close, good game. Like that's gonna be a fire game to watch.
Yeah, I think good game. You know, Benfica is one of the best teams in Portugal. I mean, the problem here is, you know, Haller, regardless of that, most of them being tap-ins, I'm not sure if he takes penalties for them. He's been on fire. And Ajax, the same group with Sporting and Dortmund, they dominated that group. So as much as I think Benfica is a solid side, they did struggle against a Barcelona who sits in 7th place in La Liga right now. You know, one of the worst Barcelonas we've seen in a little while. So I'm going to go with Ajax. Do I think Benfica could maybe take a game? Yes, but I think Ajax advances, and I think the aggregates, I'm going to say 4-2 there.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Ajax take this game as well. I think Anthony right now is disgusting. He's like one of the best young talents in the world. You watch him play, he's like Neymar again. He's like a new Neymar. Benfica's good, but again, I don't think they have what it takes. So I'll take Ajax in this matchup.
Nice, bro. I actually something I know Pete's gonna say. He's smiling over there like a little idiot. When you said Anthony, like a couple, maybe a year back, Pete's like, "Oh, watch out for this kid! Watch out for this kid!" Now he's popping off, so it's good to see too.
Yeah.
But I think Ajax is gonna run away with that too.
Yeah, that's
I do agree. I think Ajax is gonna run away with this one. Like my boy, like Gio said, you know, I was calling it a while ago. My boy Anthony, he's lights out too. Him and David Neres, like you sub one off and you have the same player, you know, who can just kind of pick up the game right then and there as well. So yeah, I'm gonna take Ajax on this. They were scoring a lot of goals. They have a lot of quality up top. So yep, Ajax.
You know, quick thing I actually wanted to mention, Nicolas Otamendi has been playing pretty well for them. At least I personally feel that way. I know he was at City, wasn't doing that well. Pretty sure he was in Spain before. But I don't know if you guys have been watching him. He's been looking like a solid player.
Yeah, he has been pretty good for them.
He's always old school too, so he's got that old school like gritty defense.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Physical, very physical too.
Yeah, he's been a good defender for them. He's definitely helped.
Chelsea Lille.
Pains me to say this one.
I mean,
Yeah, I know.
you know, Chelsea will take it. You know, Lille, they're a solid side. It's just problem with Lille is they're not a team that keeps their good players. You know, Chelsea's the team that would buy from Lille, you know, like all their good players. So I mean, Chelsea's gonna take it. Chelsea will probably, I'm gonna predict a 5-1 aggregate win. I think Chelsea
5-1?
Yeah, 5-1 aggregate.
Wow, that is hefty.
Yeah, I think Chelsea wins the first game 2-0, and then they win the second game 3-1.
I could see that happening.
All right.
And Mike Mance is gonna love this little part, but as much as I hate Chelsea, I think they take this one. You know, they won the French league last year, didn't they?
They did.
So they had a good season last year, but I mean, I don't think they have what it takes to beat the reigning champions of Chelsea. So I'll give it to Chelsea. I like 5-1, maybe 5-2. I might give Lille another point or another goal.
I'll make the French people happy today. I think they'll beat Chelsea. I don't think this Chelsea side is as strong as
they are they are kind of falling off a little bit. I won't lie. But
yeah, they had 2 wins in the last 2 games though. But before that, draw, loss, and so they're obviously a beatable side. So
I mean, penalty, Jorginho. Anyway, Pete, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Lille actually on this one as well. I think like Gio said, they've I don't really like the way they've been playing too much recently. I think the penalties have been kind of bailing them out too, and I think Jonathan David he's lights out as well. So yeah, I'm taking Lille on this one.
Men's is cracked, bro. He's cracked.
He's so good.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's gonna go to a good team soon. He will definitely.
This one I'm excited for. We got Atletico Man United.
This is a scare matchup.
It is.
I mean, you know, both teams kind of been struggling in the league. I actually, you know, I'm not a big La Liga fan myself, but apparently Atletico Madrid lost 4 of their last 5 league games.
Yeah,
so they're not in good form. United just tied to Newcastle, and honestly, a game they should have lost. De Gea put on a masterclass with some of those saves, eh?
Kept them in that game.
I think Atletico or Atletico wins the first game, and then I think Man United wins second game,
I
and
was
they
gonna say the
advance
same
on aggregate. I
I
think
was gonna say the
United
same thing.
advances. Yep.
You know how Ronaldo is with Atletico in the Champions League.
Yep.
That's never going to be forgotten. I think Man U will, like Lucas said, take it in the second game. Ronaldo's going to pull out something. He always does in the Champo. So I'll take Man U in this matchup, but I think it's going to be very close.
You want me to go?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna pick Diego Simeone to
Dude, this kid
coach
loves
his way
picking
out of
the
this one.
upsets.
Five
Not
active
happening.
games.
No.
Yep, I'm taking Atletico in this. He's gonna
Hold
get
on.
mad defensive. I think that
Gio,
good.
go ahead. Sorry, Pete.
No. Go ahead, Pete.
I think he's gonna go super defensive how he usually plays, and I don't think this Manchester United team, just from their attitude on the field from the Newcastle game, like Luca was saying, like everyone's always has their head down or someone's bitching and complaining to somebody else, yelling at somebody else. So I think that Atletico, they're gonna rally for this one.
Luca, what were you gonna say?
So, first off, Pete, sorry for interrupting you.
You're good.
So like again, United hasn't been having the best form, but Ronaldo's always finding the net, dude. He is always like even if it's at the end, he may not have the best form in the league. He's finding the net in the Champions League, and also, Atletico Madrid did not deserve to advance out of our group. I know Milan lost. I'm
Yeah, that group came down to the final game.
Yeah, a little butthurt about that, but I thought Porto was honestly deserved it more than us, or more Milan and Atletico Madrid. So I just don't see them.
I'm still
winning, but-
confident in Ronaldo, obviously. Like Fig said, you got Ronaldo in Champions League is a different story. He's a different guy. He's
Different gravy.
yeah, bullying Atletico. Oh,
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be easy sweep for him.
Yeah.
Pete, by the way, what island are you on?
Yeah. Where are you, Pete?
You mind telling-
on Easter Island.
This is gonna be me January 6th. So we're in Florida right now, actually.
Nice.
He's an island boy.
I'm an island boy.
All right, so we got my boys Juve versus Villarreal. What do we do?
Gio, go ahead, take this one away. 'cause we
Yeah,
know
you
they're your
start us
boys.
off, buddy.
I'll take my boys in black and white all day. We're gonna smack them. Gerard Moreno is gonna be in Bonucci and Kipling's pocket. I think
Oh
it's
God.
an easy game. Morata could even score a hat trick. That's how confident I am.
That's bold. Okay.
I
Luke,
mean-
there you go.
So Villarreal is honestly a good side. They're a solid side. Juve, they're okay too. Haven't been doing the best in Serie A. Good form though. I think Juve will advance, and no, not because I am biased to the Serie A. I just feel like I don't know. My gut's telling me Juve is gonna win. I know Chiesa is preparing to come back too. Hasn't been having the best of seasons so far. I mean, he did well with Italy, but I feel like Chiesa is gonna start popping off once he comes back from injury, dude. And I feel like Juve is they'll take this matchup. It'll be close, but I think they're gonna advance.
I think this is going to be the closest matchup of these games. I think this is going to be a 1-goal decider through the aggregate. I don't know what the results are going to be, but it pains me to say I think Juve are going to find their way through by one. I think it's going to be like a 3-2, 4-3, like 1-goal aggregate. But I'll take Juve just because Villarreal's good. I think Villarreal's a good team.
They're definitely good.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to bandwagon on this one. I'm taking Juve as well. I think Allegri's been cut. He's been finally starting to get the team to kind of rally under him. Like they said, Villarreal is also definitely a good team, but I think Juve pulls the win on this.
Like that. We got Inter Liverpool.
This is a good match. These are good matches.
This is gonna be tough. I personally hate Inter. I think I could vouch for Gio as well, being big fans of the Serie A. Inter is typically the scum. I mean, they're a good team this year. They're probably gonna win Serie A again. They're 4 points ahead of Milan, who are in second place. But I mean, Liverpool's fantastic. They're my pick to win the Champions League. They beat us with their backups. And listen, Milan's not that much of a joke of a team. I want to say Inter has a chance, but I don't know. I think Liverpool advances, and I think I'll take a 4-2 aggregate here. I think they win both games 2-1.
I like that.
Yeah, I think Liverpool takes this. They look like a better team. I mean, Inter's winning Serie A right now, right?
Yes,
They're in the
right.
lead.
Yep.
Liverpool's, I think, in second in the Prem, but I mean, Liverpool, if you have a full Salah, Mane, if Jota plays, Jota's disgusting right now.
It's gonna be tough for Inter.
Inter's in for a tough 2 games. I think Liverpool takes this pretty comfortably.
What do you think?
All right, I'll go then. Unfortunately, I'm taking Liverpool. It's sad, but yeah, I like Klopp a lot. I like the way he manages like his team. I like Salah. Obviously, he's just going off. Diego Jota, retardedly good. Mane, I think that the team plays just so well, especially in Europe. So yeah, I'm taking Liverpool on this one.
I didn't know he changed his name to Diego Jota.
Okay, Diego Jota. Sorry, relax.
He knows it like that. He's best friends with Diego.
Yeah, I'm boys with him.
Like Luke said, I hate Inter, but I could definitely see them doing some type of damage to Liverpool.
Ooh, shit.
I think that Liverpool's a great side, but you could see today again, like they have weaknesses as well. Salah, as good as he's been, he just missed the penalty and then missed the rebound right after. So you see, maybe his spell is over. I hope so.
From one pen, could be.
Hey, you never know. Maybe his spell
could be. Yeah, true.
That's Salah's reign over.
PSG, Real Madrid.
So this is going to be a crazy game. I think this, honestly, if Real Madrid was not playing PSG, I think they can pretty much beat most of the teams there, besides like Bayern, Liverpool, like maybe City, but I don't know. I think like Mbappe, Neymar, and Messi are not losing in the round of 16. Like Real Madrid could take the first game if they are at home. But I just don't see them advancing. Like they're a good team, but PSG just has, the quality. Like obviously Madrid has the quality too, but you have game changers like Messi, Mbappe, Neymar. They're just world class. So I'm gonna pick PSG.
I'm gonna take Madrid. I think Madrid are in form right now in the La Liga, and with the Vinicius is disgusting. Benzema has been underrated for so many years, and he's playing out of his mind. As much as PSG have the attack, and I don't think if Madrid's playing on the day, I don't think that PSG can defend and will be able to play or possess around Madrid with Kroos, Modric, all that the midfield. I'm taking Real Madrid in this matchup.
That's kind of crazy. You're saying that in your PSG kit, Fig.
I was just gonna say
surprised.
Yeah,
and he's got Neymar in the back.
Now I'm taking Real Madrid.
I'm gonna go with Real as well. I'm gonna say Vinicius and Benzema team up and smack them around. I'm hoping they do because I love Vinicius the way he's been playing. I hope like that Brazilian flair like sticks with him and he's the next big player for them. But yeah, I think Neymar obviously coming back from injury in mid-January. He's gonna have to get back into the flow of things, and I think that Messi still hasn't found his form yet in Paris. So I think it's gonna be a close matchup. I think Real takes it though.
Yep, I'm sticking with Real Madrid on this one too. They've obviously been playing really well in the league. Vinicius in form, Benzema in form. I think that the whole team is that midfield. Obviously, class never dies. Modric, Kroos, Casemiro. It's too much, and plus I feel like PSG doesn't defend well enough to hold kind of as much of a unit that Real Madrid is. So yeah, I'm taking Real Madrid in this one.
So one thing I want to say, was kind of thinking about it while you all were talking. It will be tough. Maybe I do underestimate Real Madrid a little bit, but I don't know. I kind of feel like Pochettino, he's going to be sitting there like, you know what? Nobody thinks we're going to defend well. So I think what PSG is going to try to do is take the first game, keep their style, right? And then the second game, they're going to play back. And that counterattack would be brutal. Because if Real Madrid's got 8 people forward and then Mbappe's running with Neymar and then Messi's right behind to play balls to them out wide, they're just going to burn everyone with their speed, And if they win the first game 2-0, it's going to be really tough for Madrid, even if they're attacking, because one counterattack goal kind of seals it for me.
Right. The honestly, one thing that PSG has to do is run up the scoreline. They have to.
They need to get goals with that front three. Like, there's no reason they shouldn't be scoring 2-3 goals a game.
Luke, I see what you're. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I see what you're saying, but I don't think like everybody's going to play as defensive as like you would think. Like obviously on paper, you're like, oh, everyone's going to sit there, but you really think Mbappe is going to work defensively, Neymar is going to work defensively, Messi's going to work defensively. Players that have never been asked to do the backtracking, you think they're just going to all of a sudden this one game going to do it? I don't think so.
I personally think so because Mbappe's got a World Cup. You know, he's won the league a bunch. Now it's the time to prove that he can bring his team to the Champions League. You know, Messi left Barcelona too. I mean, that's another weapon. I personally think that they're going to advance because, again, I know they haven't been defending that well, but I feel like Pochettino is going to try to instill that mindset to them. Like, listen, like, we got to defend against this team. We got to counter. And I think they're going to bring it. I think Mbappe is going to defend. Maybe not Messi as much or Neymar, but I feel like Mbappe is going to really step up. And I expect him to score, especially because he's going to play, I think, his future team.
Gotcha.
All right, so let's move over to the best league in Europe, the Serie A.
Premier League. Yeah. So
The Serie A. So let's start off with the main
That's
topic of
shocking.
the day. We got Insigne and Belotti. It's shocking news. Them possible transfer to Toronto FC. I'll let you
you
guys.
can't blame them wanting to leave the league. I mean, I would do the
I-
same.
It's not about the league. It's just, I mean, I don't know if any of you guys have been following, but I believe Insigne is going to make $12 million a year,
12 mil, that's right.
which I don't know if it's $12 million a year. I think some of that might be signing bonus, but he's making less than $5 million at Napoli right now. And that's a huge jump. Like, regardless, how old is Insigne? Like 30 or like
He's
around
30.
there?
He's 30.
You know, he's got like what, 4 or 5 more years left. Like, might as well take the money, you know? I mean, Napoli, I don't think they're winning anything anytime soon.
I'd say that. I mean, as surprising as that could be, it's not surprising because money is just everything now. When
Yeah.
the money will speak at the end of the day. Like, I mean,
It's what
I'm
the
surprised,
sport's
but I'm
come
not
to.
surprised.
True, it sucks because it's like you got talented players. And Belotti, obviously, he's always in the bottom half of the table. He's a good striker. You got Lorenzo Insigne, that he's a great player. Not a lot of people talk about him, and you're gonna go ruin the rest of your career like Jovinko did, like a couple players did, and now they'll never go down as that big player.
But you could argue that. I mean, look what Ibra's done. Ibra went to the MLS in the middle of his career, which is what players don't do a lot. He went to LA Galaxy for 2 seasons, and now he's
Yep.
back in Milan. And you could argue he's still pretty good. I mean,
You also could argue that wasn't the middle of his career. He was 38.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying in the middle. I'm saying like between like
Yeah. I
Unless
do.
it's
during the middle of his career,
Unless he
but during
gets
his career.
60 years old, then
Yeah, but not at the end of retiring the MLS.
I get what you're saying.
He went from Europe to MLS back to Europe.
Can we just take a moment? Isn't it so sad how like there's no player that actually plays for the jersey anymore? Like it's
Yeah.
legit so much about money. It's like crazy now.
True.
You know? Like I feel
Yeah.
like when you were a kid growing up, you're like, oh, I want to play for example, like Gia, like I want to play for Juve, and then like Luke, I want to play for Milan. But like now it's like these kids are just like, nah, okay, you want to give me an extra 5 mil? Word, I'm coming that way. You know, it's like they're mercenaries now. They're not even
Like-
actual players.
It's like players that play like Kalinoglu. Like
Yeah.
players that go from Milan to
Don't get me
players
started
that go
with
from
that
City to
snake.
United. It's just like I don't understand.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It's just the paycheck at the end of the day. But it sucks because you do have those players, and they're all turning almost 40 years old now, and it's like that's the end of that era that we'll see.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I mean, I
Mhm.
do understand like from like when you're older to like go get your paycheck because it's like then you want to kind of financially secure your family and all that good stuff. But some people like Gio said, like Jovinko kind of took that move like way too early, in my opinion, as well. Like
Yep.
just for kind of like the money. So I don't know. It's kind of
But to
upsetting.
be
to see
fair,
that.
with Giovinco, he was getting some time with Juve, but he was not a regular starter. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of makes sense. But if you look at Insigne, like he's one of the star
the
players
captain,
on
right?
Napoli.
the captain. He's the
Yeah.
captain.
And then Belotti too. Like, I mean, we don't really know many names on Torino, especially, you know, people don't really pay attention to Serie A, but you know, he's one of their best players. And these two guys just won the Euro with Italy, and it's a shame to see them leaving like that. But you know, it is what it is. I guess it's what the game's come
The
to.
money. The money.
Yeah.
Speaking of money, dirty money. Let's talk about Inter.
Dirty
They win the
money.
league.
Let's talk about it.
You think that they're gonna win the league?
I mean, yeah. Like as much as you hate to admit it, they're 4 points ahead of my Milan, and they look like a different side with uh, Inzaghi compared to Conte. I just feel like their attack is so much more like fluid. I don't know, and like some of the players they brought in, like they lost Lukaku. Dzeko's been great replacement. That kid Joaquin Correa they got from Lazio, he's a baller. I always rated him highly. They haven't missed a beat. It seems like they got better. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think under Conte, obviously, Lukaku and Lautaro Martinez were firing on all cylinders. But now you got the whole team attacking.
Yes.
Like everyone, even Skriniar is scoring goals. So it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm taking Inter to win the league this year as well. I mean, okay, wait. Here's a question for you. Who do you think is a better coach now, Conte or Inzaghi?
Conte, that's easy.
Conte will go
Conte's a
down
better
as
coach.
top 10, I
You think
think.
Conte?
Because if you look at the team now, Conte kind of built it, and I know some of the key players left, but Inzaghi's taking what Conte built and he's kind of making it into a more attacking team. You know what I'm saying? Like without this vision from Conte, I don't think Inzaghi's taken this team to the top. Like their squad is the best, I think, in Serie A. I don't think like there's some teams that maybe are close, but AC Milan can't compete with them. I don't think Juve can compete with them either, at least now.
Right below Inter, we got Milan. I think that at this point in the season, they still have a fighting chance against Inter. If Inter starts dropping points, Milan could very much pull ahead. But
Listen,
Milan, at the same time, hasn't been in the best of form.
no, not at all.
But
I mean, they got a 4-2 win over Empoli, and Empoli's a decent side. I honestly thought that match might end in a draw. And they played Kessie up, I believe, in the number 10 position where Brahim Diaz usually plays. He scored 2 goals. I was kind of surprised with that because he's, naturally a center mid / CDM, but he looks solid. I don't know if you guys watched the game, but I mean,
yeah, I actually saw a meme on that. It was Kessie after playing one game and he shaves his head like Zidane.
yeah, yeah, I did see that. Yeah, on Instagram, that was funny. I mean, we can't compete though, dude. At the end of the day, like, I love Milan. I've been a Milan supporter my whole life, as far as I remember. But Inter's just too good, and Milan doesn't have the quality of players. He scores goals, but he's not the same kind of player as he once was. It's just not. I think we could take second, maybe third. I think we'll stay in the Champions League.
Pete, Goodson, you think it'll finish up Inter
Yeah,
winning?
I'm looking at the table on my screen right now, and I can see the last 5 matches from the top 5, and Inter is one of 5 of them. And Juve have won 4 of them and tied 1, but as good a form they may be in, they're 12 points off of first place. Like that just shows levels of how. I mean, Milan's 4 points behind. They're pretty close, but like Luca was saying, he thinks there's just different levels between the 2 teams.
Yeah.
And I think they can compete. So I could see Inter taking it again. They won last year too, correct?
Yes, they did. They ended Juve's run of dominance.
Yeah, I could see a back-to-back from Inter.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like Milan probably is going to end. I want to say probably still stay second. I want to see Juve climb up to third, though. And then Atalanta stay fourth. I think Napoli's actually going to drop to fifth.
Yep. I was actually just going to say that when you were done. I think Napoli is going to do their typical botch. I feel like Atalanta's going to take that 4th place spot. I think Napoli's going to lose it.
Napoli is a bottling club. That's what they're
Yep.
known.
They are a
And that's a
bottling
shout
club.
out to my friend Davide if he's watching.
That's right. No, they suck, bro. Go pick a new team to follow.
I can't say anything. Palermo's in the freaking Serie C, so I'm just going to sit here quietly.
At
But
least you're not plastic. So what else?
Let's speak of like you said, Palermo, Serie C, teams that got dealt bad cards. You got Salernitana right now. They are in 20th place in the Serie A. They are looking for a new owner, and they only have 5 days to do so. They just played against Udinese. They just had a game scheduled against Udinese, who they could not put out a team for.
because what, they couldn't pay the players or something like that?
Couldn't put out 11 players because of COVID, and
Oh.
yeah.
I thought, yeah, I was just about to say it would be weird that they didn't play that game because they didn't have a buyer. But yeah, that's kind of crazy. I don't think they'll find a buyer, dude. Somebody would have jumped on them
In
by
5
now.
days?
I feel like, yeah,
That's
Well,
tough.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not going to happen.
What
And
happens if they don't?
the thing is that the Serie A wants to kick them out, which I don't understand how would work with the
The 19 game
Might just be
19
19 teams, and then the rest of their games would just count as forfeits. Everyone would take the 3 points.
If
So that would
that's the
be no
club,
difference.
if that's the club that you support, what do you think? Like, what do they do? What's their next step? They just
I mean,
sit
are they gonna go into bankruptcy as a club? That's happened in England with who was it that went into I forget the name of the club, but there was a club in England a year or two ago that had to just like close down because they had no money or anything like that, and it was like a really well supported club. See if I can find it.
It's
I
crazy.
mean, that's what happened to Palermo, honestly. Like, Zamparini, he sold Palermo to like kind of like a middleman, and when the middleman went to sell it to the other
Oh, yeah.
people, they kind of backed out, and then the middleman was kind of left with it and couldn't pay the players and stuff like that. And they had to file for bankruptcy, and then they went to Serie D. So maybe that's the same kind of situation that Salernitana's in. And if they're hoping to find a buyer in the next 5 days, I mean, good luck. God better bless you, because Palermo's been trying to find a buyer for the past year and a half, and they've been there goes like so much negotiations in buying a club. It's not just like, oh, here's some monopoly money,
Yeah,
give me
there's
the
so much
club. You know,
behind it.
it's like
Yep.
when you're legit investing millions and millions of dollars in this. So I mean, good luck, but
Who's
I don't
the
think it's gonna
club
happen.
that you're talking about?
It was Bury FC. They were like a Football League 2 team, well supported club, and they couldn't get enough fans or money, and they just had to liquidate the club.
Yeah,
It says they're a dormant club right now, and they were a well-known club.
It's sad because even with the bigger teams, you're gonna see that every
Yeah.
game. Like even for Juve, I'm watching and I'm seeing like no one's at these games. Even at big games, I'm watching. There's the fans. I don't know if it's COVID.
I mean,
Obviously.
COVID has to play a role in that.
Nah,
COVID
I don't
definitely
think it's COVID. I think Juve is a dying club ever since Ronaldo left there.
Not that, but let's say that it's due to the fact that ticket prices are going up. They're only attracting tourists now, so they're making it so hard for the actual people that live in the city to go to their games and support the team.
See, but
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy too because Milan actually is getting a lot more attendance. Like the last game that they played at home, I'm not sure if it was against Empoli that I watched, but they had a good crowd, especially in that Liverpool game too. That was crazy. The atmosphere there was nuts, even
Yeah,
though we lost. So I mean, I don't know, especially like Salernitana. They're obviously gonna get demoted too, and it's kind of just a shame that it's gonna go from bad to worse, I guess. So it's gonna be a problem there.
Last thing, just to touch on Serie A. The players, African players, are going to AFCON Cup, starting in early January, I believe, and 5 teams are really in some big trouble: Bologna, Sassuolo, Roma, Milan, Napoli. I don't really know what their plan is for that because it's starting to kick up now.
it's crazy how they allow that to happen during the middle of the season.
Right.
And you're gonna miss players like Kessié is gonna leave Milan, Koulibaly is gonna have to leave Napoli.
Napoli's gonna get it the worst. Napoli's gonna lose Osimhen. They're gonna lose Koulibaly.
Anguissa.
Anguissa, yeah, that's a shame. I mean, yeah, I think Napoli's gonna get hit the worst by that. Honestly,
That's when they drop. And then
yeah,
we're gonna
and
see
that
them
is
drop.
when they
Fair enough.
drop.
That's what we're hoping on. In La Liga, you're seeing some rare stuff, honestly.
I mean, Madrid, that's not a surprise, but
No. Real obviously in first. That's good for them. I think they're finally getting that form back, that dynasty that they once had.
Yeah.
After Ronaldo, they never really knew who their goal scorer was, even though Benzema still always put up numbers.
yeah.
And Barca's just shocking this season.
Has Xavi really done anything like in the grand scheme of things? Do you think?
I think it's too early, dude. I think he needs some time.
No, yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, I think you can definitely kind of see like the team a little bit more lifted than they were with Koeman, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah.
But and like he is playing some younger players too, getting them some minutes. So I think he's obviously this is a rebuilding year. Next year probably might be a rebuilding year as well. It takes time
sure.
for a coach to instill like his kind of play style, and for the fact that Barcelona honestly just doesn't have the quality to be the top 3, top 4, not even top 5 in my opinion of this league still. So they still have to, and they're financially in trouble as well. So I think it's still going to take some time, but I do see that kind of the younger players, especially, you can tell they kind of are more ambitious to go and play.
I just hope that Xavi doesn't get the axe because this happens.
Yep.
That'd be such a bad look for the club if that happens.
I think it sucks what all these clubs are doing to their managers now. They're sacking them after one season. You got to give someone a chance, right?
Yeah, and
let them rebuild, see what they can do with it.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy because when Juve first hired Pirlo, I didn't think it was a good hire, right? They had Ronaldo. They ended up taking 4th. But you look at them now, they're in 5th now, but they were doing not so good at the beginning of the season. And it makes you wonder if they kept Pirlo, given that Allegri's obviously a solid manager, he's been established, but what could they have done? Maybe they could have been in Champions League right now and not have had to worry about, climbing their way out of this hole. But, it's just managers need time. And I feel like it's very common that they're the scapegoat, rather than blaming the players. It's fire the manager,
Yeah.
Goodson, Luka, Rich. All you guys. I'm Rich. Pete. I'm sorry. All you guys, all the teams have gone through managers frequently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had Moyes multiple times now where he's come in as a safety manager where we had to sack who we've had, bring in Moyes to finish the season, and he's done well for the most part. And now we've kept him because he did so well last season at the end of it. So, and he's doing good.
Yeah. And Lucas,
what happened?
Same thing with Milan. They since getting Pioli, they finally found a rhythm. They finally have something to work with. Back they were trying Allegri. They were trying every single person, and it just wasn't working.
Yeah, I honestly did not hate Gattuso. I wasn't a fan of most of the coach Milan had. I believe Montella was a coach for a little bit. I did not like him. We've had our coaches, I know Seedorf came, you want to see a club legend succeed, but I thought Gattuso honestly wasn't a bad coach. And it's a shame because, his last season with Milan, they were so close to making Champions League. It got decided last day. Same thing when he was with Napoli. They didn't make Champions League on the last day, and he's getting sacked for that. Right. I feel like it's good that we got Pioli, but I don't know. I feel like in the next few years, I feel like we're going to need a new manager because he has a good style, but I don't know. I feel like against the European teams, we're going to need something different,
Hey, what do you think of the whole coaching situation?
Well, what's crazy about Pioli, actually, he was almost fired. I think they made the right decision by keeping him. Yeah, because like we said, it takes time. These clubs, I feel like, you can fire the manager, you can't fire the players. So their next best thing is fire the manager, then we'll figure it out. But in fact, you're only just setting it back more and more and more. And then the minute a manager has 2 good games when they first start, they're oh, we're keeping this guy. This guy's good. But they could do horrific the rest, and they're oh, we messed up again. You know what I mean? I feel like they need to have more patience. Obviously, this industry, there is no patience, and there never will be, especially now by the way the game is going. But yeah, I think they need to have more patience. Look at, Palermo's had at least 6 managers in the past 3 years. That's a manager every half the year. That's ridiculous.
So, you expect the team to find their form. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. And especially that, where the stage that they're at right now, it's not even real. It's professional, but these players are not to the quality of anywhere near the top league. So yeah, it's tough. And plus, even in the top leagues, you're still going against top players, top teams. It's not like you're going against Joe Schmo. Everyone kind of knows what they're doing up there, and they're up there for a reason.
Right.
Gio, what do you think about what's his name again? Why am I blanking? Juve's manager, Allegri. I just blanked. What do you think about him so far this season?
He brought us to some good Champions League glory. You never won it with him yet, but I think that he's done well in the league in the past with us. Now he picked up the reins again, and I think it is what it is at this point in time. He's done. I think he's a better coach than Pirlo. He
Yeah.
has done statistically better than Pirlo at this point in time in the league. But I just
Without
think
Ronaldo.
without Ronaldo as well. But I think he has more experience. He knows what it takes to be a coach. He knows how to deal with the media, which Pirlo didn't. And I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out at the end of the season.
Question. Do you think that Juve needed something different, or do you think they needed to come back to something that was comfortable again to kind of rebuild that confidence?
Yeah, I don't think that it was. I don't think Allegri was the answer. I don't think it was ever that was like the perfect thing for them. But it was the best bet that we can get at that point in time. So yeah, I mean,
Like, you know what you're gonna get, kind of.
Exactly.
Gio, quick thing. Right before we continue with some La Liga talk. We didn't get to mention this in the little Serie A segment, but I'm looking at Juve's next games, and I know their form's been good, but I think me and you can both agree they haven't been playing the best teams in Serie A, right? As of the past few games.
Yeah.
So they got Napoli on January 6th. Then 3 days later, they got Roma. You're playing Inter in the Supercoppa Italiana final on the 12th. Do you think that there's going to be a dip? Like, you guys are playing us on the 23rd. What do you think's going to happen?
I'm really hoping everyone just stays fit. That's going to be the main thing. You got Chiesa coming back. Dybala's finally like healthy. So that's going to be a big factor. I think if we have Chiellini back, 100%. But Bernardeschi, which I don't understand, he's having the season of his life with Juve. And I think that it's all of those players, like those little things that they need to be fit. They need to be healthy. Everyone's got to be doing their part. And I think that if they take these big games step by step, I think we'll be able to win them no problem. By the way, guys, this video is brought to you with the help of our partners, Amazon Audible, who carry thousands of titles such as Maradona, The Hand of God, Ancora un Giro, Alex Del Piero, and Pelé, Why Soccer Matters, and many more titles exclusively on Amazon Audible. Hit the link above or in the description below with a free 30-day trial at AmazonAudibleTrial.com/NOF.
Nice.
All right.
Go ahead, Pete.
No, you can go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I cut you off. My bad. Go ahead.
I was gonna say let's kind of bring it back into Barca. I mean, how are we feeling about the Ferran Torres transfer?
Good.
I think it's a good transfer. I think he's a good player. I think he could fit Barcelona's play style. 50 mil. I mean, he's young. I can see why it's that price tag. He was playing well at City during the end of his stint with them. But I don't know how much one player can really change what's going on with Xavi and Barcelona. You hope it helps out a little bit, but
can you believe though that that's a $50 million player? Like
he came
He's
from the
young,
Premier,
though. He's
young
also
Premier
young,
League.
too.
I mean, that's what you get nowadays. Young Premier League player talent. He's gonna
Good.
be
So let me ask you a question real quick. So I'm not a big City fan, obviously. I don't really watch them play. Do you think he's better than Mahrez? And I don't know.
No,
I honestly don't know. You don't think so?
I think Mahrez is disgusting.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it kind of makes sense because it was for 50 million, and he's 21 years old. That's the
Yeah,
big
he's
thing
young.
we got to realize.
That's why he's so much too.
Yeah, and honestly, for a 21-year-old in the Premier League playing on City, I feel like that's not terrible nowadays.
No way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see him in Spain though. Like
Yeah.
Spanish player back in Spain is cool to me. I like when Barca was all Spanish. I think it was a good, good times for them. So
Yeah, the chemistry is definitely there. Do you guys think it's more of like because Dembele might leave, or do you think it's more because Fati's kind of on and off the field, and same thing with Dembele? What do you guys think the reason of getting Ferran Torres?
Dembele probably got hurt 6 times while we started this podcast.
Yeah.
So
That's about right.
that's probably why they needed a replacement. They knew they needed a replacement. Ferran Torres is a perfect guy, winger, pacey.
Yeah.
Also, another thing too, if you look at that Barcelona team back when they were, in their prime, they had the likes of, Pedro, Alexis Sanchez, like, Messi would probably play the wing sometimes. Like, they didn't just have enough players to fill their starting 11 too. Like, whether Dembele's not playing, Ansu Fati's not playing, it's always good to have those options, for a team like that want to be great.
True.
Do you think that they should have spent this 50 million elsewhere, or do you think this was kind of the perfect buy in a way for this team, like what they need right now?
I wouldn't say perfect buy, but I think it's a good buy. I mean, I think it's a decent player. He's young. He's Spanish. He could fit Barca's style. There's probably other players out there that they could have looked into, but I mean, I don't think it's a bad purchase.
What do you guys think of Depay so far?
I think he's a good
Started
player.
out good. He started out really good, and I think he's slowly
Decline.
leveled out. I mean,
I always rated Depay. I think he's a great player, honestly. Every single time I watch him with Lyon, when Juve played against them, he kind of we kept him, but he's a great player. He was making moves, taking shots, making
Yeah.
him look like an idiot. So.
I think
Yeah. I mean, I like the transfer. Like Gio said, I've always rated Depay as well. I just think it's kind of hard when the whole team is struggling for the number 9 to constantly like bail them out of games. I mean, not obviously that's what your number 9 is supposed to do, is to bail you out of some games, but not every game. You know what I mean? But
I'm looking at Barca's team, and you guys said whether or not it was like the best signing for them to make. I don't agree. I feel like that money should have been spent in defense, but I still think it's a good signing because of his age. He's Spanish. Who do you guys think Barcelona should sign as a defender? Because I think they need center backs personally. You guys have any names you could throw out there?
that's tough.
Say, like players that aren't on the market, but it's tough because you don't see any good players right now that are trying to change teams.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
And plus, I feel like Piqué kind of has to like hand off that baton to somebody else at some point. You know what I mean? Kind of how Puyol handed him the baton. Now it has to go another step. But
Just
There's
needs
not
a
really a player to
replacement,
get
though.
that.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. There's not. Who's the replacement?
yeah,
I can't think of many young like center backs right now that are
That talent.
like I don't know.
I
I mean,
agree.
Off the top of my head at least.
I feel like it would kind of have to be Spanish too, because I feel like honestly having a team like, for example, Barcelona in Spain have a lot of Spanish players. I feel like we said before, the chemistry is really there. And then when it comes to like, I don't know, like international and stuff like that, you already have kind of a lot of players that have played with each other. That's why I feel like Italy played pretty well, is because the whole team plays pretty much Serie A, and a lot of them play with each other besides Jorginho. You know what I mean? So I feel like they kind of need another Spanish player to kind of bring that defense back up to kind of what it was.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of signing players from City, they got Eric Garcia like a season ago, but I don't think he's really done much for him so far. But he was decent at City.
Even him, he hasn't done anything.
Yeah. So that's the problem with it. If they do sign a center back, what happens if that happens? Like if another Eric Garcia, where they waste the money and he hasn't done much yet.
I think they need to build around Frankie. I've heard some rumors, that he may or may not go to not Real Madrid, Manchester United. I think he's phenomenal. Like when I see him on the ball, like it is so hard to dispossess that man.
So
And he's young too. Like just give him a few more years when he gets to this prime. They need to keep him. They need to keep him.
He's the star of that team, I would say probably.
Yeah, for sure.
Something else shocking in La Liga right now. You got Real Betis and Rayo Vallecano in 3rd and 4th place, which it makes no sense. You got Barca sitting in 8th right now. What are they?
Yeah, 7th, I think.
I believe they're in 7th.
7th.
Yeah.
So it just there's no excuse. You have teams like that in 3rd and 4th place. You got to wake up.
Yeah. It's shocking. It shows the quality of the league, I guess.
yeah.
Maybe the league is the bad league. I don't know.
Atletico Madrid's in 5th, by the way. We're talking
Yeah,
about Barcelona in 7th. They don't have that great of a team, but Atletico Madrid's dropped 4 of their last 5 games in the league. And, they were not far off Madrid, but now I'm looking at it. They are 17 points behind Madrid. And Real Madrid has a game in hand. But still, that's a big margin, especially this point of the season for a team like them.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Griezmann, he's got to start doing something.
Crazy woman.
He's got to.
Suarez, too.
Yeah, Suarez needs to start scoring again. Last year, he was amazing. He was so good.
Mm-hmm.
I know. He's getting old, dude. The
Yes.
legs can't move like they used to.
Father Time is undefeated, Pete. You know what they say.
It always is.
For the Premier League, 2nd best league in the world, maybe 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
I put
Jake,
it
you can
4th.
start us off. with Man City.
Man City, they just broke the record for the most goals, I believe, in a single year from January to December. So
In
2
the Premier
seasons,
League thing,
yeah,
or just
in
like
the
ever?
top flight. In the top flight.
Okay, I got
So
you.
they are in ridiculous form right now. I don't see it. I predicted, I think, last podcast they'd win the league, and they've been doing pretty well.
Yeah.
I don't see them losing many games from the rest of the season. I mean, they scored 10 goals in their last like 2 or 3 games, which, I mean, the attack they have with Bernardo Silva, Mahrez, Sterling, there's so many players they can use, and all of them can just play. I don't see many teams defending it. So I think they're just going to run away with it. I mean, what do you guys think? Does anyone else?
Liverpool
I mean,
has a chance to catch up.
I think they have a chance to catch up, but I mean, it's between those two at this point. I think I predicted those two 1-2, and that's what's happening right now.
I mean, Liverpool did
goes.
drop that game too today to Leicester 1-0,
Mhm.
so that didn't
Yeah,
really help
that's
their
bad.
their
That's bad
chances out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
And then Chelsea. You speak about Chelsea, who are the champions of Europe, reigning champions of Europe. They started out the season so well, and now, I mean, they've been struggling to get 3 points every game for the most part. So who knows what's going to happen with them dropping down? I mean, I'm sure they'll still finish Champions League at the end of the season, but I don't think them winning the league is really like realistic at this point. I don't know.
No, I think they've lost form as well. You come from a team that just won the Premier League, won the Champions League, and you think that they're going to have an excellent season, and they go out and, they're not as impressing as they were.
Yeah. I mean, COVID has hit them, I guess. COVID, and I don't know how about Italy, but COVID in England right now is bad. Like, the league is in shambles, I guess you could say. There's so many games that have been postponed. Like, every weekend you see half the league game postponed, and then, like, you look at the table and you see matches played. It's like 19, 15, 16, 18. It's all over the place. So the points don't really, like, make sense, if that makes sense. But Chelsea have struggled with COVID. They're one of the teams that had a lot of players missing. But, I mean, even with the depth they have, they're still putting out strong lineups. As much of an excuse as it can be, you still should be winning most of your games with the players you can still field.
Bro, I already see people, Chelsea fans, screaming, null and void this season. I'm like, come on, you got to be kidding.
Yeah, right? It's only halfway done.
They have, like, if half these teams, like imagine if Brighton had, like, half of their bench. They would legit be probably up towards, like, 8th. I feel like those big enough clubs where it's like Chelsea, Liverpool, City. I mean, even Arsenal, like they have, and Manchester United as well. They have players off the bench that are worth what, 30, 40, 50 million. So I feel like you can't complain.
United is in the bin. They are in the stinker.
Struggling.
I don't know what United needs. I really don't.
I don't know.
I mean, they spent the money. Like, they brought in Ronaldo, brought in Varane.
Did you see Varane last game?
He did
I
not
did
play
not.
a lot at all.
He looked like he was drunk. Like, I don't know what he was doing.
Dude, he looked like he
I
was
mean,
12 deep, dude.
Was Varane ever that good? Because my good friend David, he is a big Real Madrid fan, and he told me that he was really happy when Real Madrid sold Varane because he was like, yeah, he makes like a lot of mistakes. So I don't know if that was really like the best signing for them.
It's funny.
Overrated.
You said overrated?
Yeah.
I agree.
And you pair him with
Ramos.
Maguire.
Slabhead.
And now you got 2 clumsy idiots just in the back line. What do you expect?
I know. I think Lindelof is good, honestly. I think he's arguably their best center back. I think Lindelof is, when I watch him play, he's quick, he's good on the ball compared to Varane and Maguire.
Anyone's better than Maguire, dude.
Even
He's
rate
been horrible.
I thought Bayu was pretty good, but he got hurt a couple times last season.
Yeah, he gets injured a lot. But he's all right. I mean, Arsenal's been in pretty good form too recently, which I hate to say that. They're winning a lot of games, scoring a lot of goals. Emile Smith-Rowe's in form right now. But, I mean, their whole team is just playing pretty well, which sucks.
Saka scored a beautiful goal last game, cutting in. He's a great player, man.
Yeah,
Question: do you think Arsenal stays top 5?
I do.
I do.
I think so, yeah.
Really?
I do.
Yeah, I
continue
do.
this form, bro. They look like a good team now. They never had an identity. The last couple seasons, they did not have an identity.
You could say they look like Arsenal. Like, you could never say that the past like 3 or 4 seasons. Like, they actually look back in pretty good form.
Especially in 4th place. Arsenal lives in 4th place.
Yeah, they
They
do.
just don't have the quality though. Like they have good players, like they're playing well, but compare them up to City, Liverpool, Chelsea. Like United's got a better team than them on paper. You know, they
They
could
do.
like that. You know, for them to get top 4 is good. I think Arsenal.
Yeah.
Do you think that United has like any chance of tailing Arsenal?
Yeah, I do. I think. I mean, the season's halfway done, so like what we've seen
Yeah.
now, anything could change the rest of the season. But
Well,
They're also 2 games behind Arsenal too, and they are only 7 points behind. So I mean, they win those 2 games, they're a point behind.
yeah,
United's
I mean,
just
they're not out of
getting
it.
lucky though. Like the fact that De Gea had to pull them out of that draw, he made that possible. He
De
made
Gea saved them so many times this season.
Did you see
Yeah.
it against the Newcastle game?
oh
The
yeah.
saves that he made, they were insane.
Well, also
Yep.
St. Maximin's goal was just ridiculous. No goal
Yes.
was ever getting to that.
That was
That was
crazy.
just class.
Saint
But,
Max is
but
on the
I
wrong
have a
team.
question
Well,
for
is he
you
though?
guys.
No, he's on the
money.
He needs
Yeah.
to get sold, dude. He's got to go somewhere where he can play with better players. It's not fair for him.
Yeah, but does he though? Because one of the points I wrote down is the transfer window's coming up, and Newcastle have money now. Do they
That's
build
true.
around him?
realistically. Who's going to what 20th place?
No,
19th now.
That's another thing. If Newcastle have the money now, that's attractive to players. But what if they go to the championship? What happens to that?
That would be hilarious. That would be
That'd be
hilarious.
terrible for them. But if they do get some good signings in January, can they turn it around and maybe push for like 14th, 13th mid-table just to finish the season?
No,
And
that they could. They definitely could.
I could see that happening.
That's the
And that's when Newcastle gets scary with
yeah,
the money they have.
yeah.
I mean, I definitely think they're going to ball out in January because they're going
They
to do
should.
everything in their power to stay in the Premier League,
Yeah.
stay attractive. I mean, plus, I think, in my opinion, at least, I think Watford is a worse side than Newcastle, in my opinion. But yeah, I think Newcastle. I mean, just barely they're going to get out of there, but I think that they won't get relegated.
Shout out to Cycling GK, Ben Foster.
So, I mean, piggybacking off the London clubs with Tottenham, we got West Ham, we got Arsenal. You could even throw Man U in there with seeing who can compete with top 4. I mean, West Ham have been kind of on a downward slope as of the last 3 or 4 games. They won today, but bad loss to Southampton. I mean, Arsenal are coming back up from where they were at. Tottenham's also on the rise, so it's pretty competitive between those 3 London clubs, and then Man U again struggling a little bit in mid-table. So, what do you guys think in terms of if they can compete? Luke, what do you think?
It's almost looking like a repeat of last season that you guys had 4th lockdown.
Yeah, and then we just fell.
What was it? Last 5 games of the season? You
Yeah,
guys really
we needed to win like 2 or 3 games, and we just couldn't. Like, I don't know what was happening.
I'm looking at it right now, Goodson. Ever since you guys beat Chelsea, I mean, it's been downhill. Lost to Zagreb in the Europa League. You
That
tied
was an irrelevant
Burnley.
loss, though.
Yeah, no, irrelevant. Yeah. Lost to Arsenal 2-0. Tottenham
Mhm.
beat you guys in the EFL Cup. You guys lost to Southampton, and you beat Watford, thank God. But, I mean,
Yeah.
you think that could define what the season's going to be? Do you think that they could take top 4? Do you think it's going to be 5th, 6th, or 6th place?
I think it's probably going to be a 5-6 season. I mean, I'm glad this is happening in the middle of the season, not at the end again. I hope this is kind of like a reality check, I feel like, because we beat Chelsea, like that's a good win. And then the players think, oh, we're all this, like we don't have to try for Southampton, and then we go and lose. So, I mean, they have to get their heads back on and realize, like, okay, we can't just like walk into these games and expect to win just because we're West Ham. I mean, West Ham haven't been a good club for a while. I mean, now they're looking decent, but I don't know. I'm glad this is happening now, and I think they can turn it around. And
Yeah, I was just
going
going to say too, like, if you look at your team, like, nobody really expects them ever to compete. Like, yeah, they play well, but a few years ago, you guys almost got relegated. So this is great for you guys, because imagine.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, imagine, like, they were in the 2nd, like, division. That'd just be crazy.
Yeah.
And now they're fighting for top 4. Go ahead, Gio.
I was just gonna say that there's bang average players on that team, and they're competing. Like,
Yeah.
I think Rice is honestly I think he's one of the better players on that team. But again, if you look at other midfielders, he's still average. So it's crazy.
Ooh,
I mean,
is that a hot take?
I think Rice is one of the better defensive midfielders in the league right now. I mean, I would say top 4, 5. But when you say bang average, what I think of is like you look at the names and you just like there's no names on West Ham for the most part.
Right.
Like Jared Bowen, like I think he's great. I think he's a great player.
Oh,
think
Benrahma. Benrahma, another
Benrahma.
great player that you would never. You're like, all right, this guy, he's got to be garbage.
You
but
watch him play, and he's so smooth. Like the way he dribbles and stuff. I think Liverpool's looking. Klopp likes Bowen. I think he's gonna target. Yeah, Liverpool likes Bowen, and I think Bowen's great. He was at Hull, I believe.
Yeah, it was at Hull City.
Got him from Hull. So
I feel like Hull's got a lot of good talent. There's been a bunch of good players that come from Hull City.
Well,
Oh,
Hull's
Robertson came from Hull.
Robertson
Hull's
came
a
from
big
yeah,
club.
they're good.
Maguire
They're
came
good.
from Hull, so that argument's over.
Who?
Didn't Maguire come from Hull too?
I'm
He
not
did
sure.
come from. He did come from.
I
Hull
thought he was
City.
Sheffield. Maybe
No,
that's
he went from Hull, I think, to Leicester, and then Leicester to United for that
Yeah.
ridiculous fee.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm still looking at the table right now. Tottenham still has 2 games to play, and they're 1 point behind West Ham. I think one of the games is Burnley, so I think they'll win that game. I think
That
the other
should be a
game is
dub.
Chelsea, so I think they'll lose that game. So I think they'll end up with 33 points. They're technically in 5th already, right there. And then you still have Manchester United still left to play 2 games. Or I'm sorry. So actually, Manchester United plays Burnley. They'll win that game. And then that'll put them, 31 points? That's already tied with West Ham. And then they have to play Wolves, which, I mean, that's
Could
kind of
go
a
either
toss-up
way.
game. Yeah, that's kind of a toss-up game. So, I mean, going back to the Tottenham 2 games, though, they do play Chelsea, but they also play Watford. So it's a win either way. So both teams, I feel like, guaranteed their first win. And then the second game is kind of, we'll see.
It's really close in that area of the table right now.
I just want Son to leave, bro. I want him to go to a good team. I love that guy.
Yeah, but they've been on good form though. Ever since they got Conte. I don't know if you guys thought he was the solution for manager. I honestly didn't think so, but he's got the boys in good form. They're climbing back.
He does. I like that. You saw that picture when they all celebrated together with the Spider-Man? That was dope.
Yeah, that was cool.
I didn't see that. That's
I haven't seen
probably a
that.
sick pick.
Yeah, it was cool. But yeah, I think that they have some potential for this season
You
too.
think they could make top 4 because the form's been there.
I don't know. I locked in Arsenal as that number 4 spot, but I really don't. Maybe Europa League.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, I guess so. But if you look at they're 2 games behind Arsenal, if they win both, they're a point ahead.
Sure.
You realize that, right? It's not that big of a gap. It's 5 points now, but they have 2 games to play. So could go anyway. But yeah, no, Arsenal definitely look good.
Yeah.
And that North London derby is coming up pretty soon too.
Ooh, should be a good game.
January 16th, I think.
You going, Pete?
Yeah.
You stuck on that island.
Yeah, I'm stuck here. We got to fuel up the plane. It's gonna take a while. So
Yeah, guys. All right, that sounds good. And how about your boy Arteta, Pete?
Yeah, you mentioned you wanted to talk about
yeah. Okay, well, this is what I'm saying. This is what we talked about. I mean, look at Lampard was fired, Pirlo was fired. Who's the other one that I can't think of right now? I don't know. I'm drawing a blank. But Arteta's the last one, and look at how he's finally got the boys to go and play. You know what I mean? Obviously this shows that time is definitely needed to kind of change that style, like we hit on.
Agreed. Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
I agree with that, but you can also think that he was under Pep for a few seasons. So you could think maybe he learned a few things with Pep and he was implementing them himself. Whereas if you look at Lampard, I don't know if he coached anywhere before Chelsea. I think he just jumped straight into it. So I'm
He
sure he
wasn't
learned a few
coaching
things.
Derby. Wasn't Lampard coaching somewhere before?
No,
That's why Rooney's been at Derby.
Coaching though?
He was a player coach.
Okay,
I'm
maybe.
sure Lampard was. No, I'm thinking of John Terry. I'm thinking of Aston Villa.
Yeah,
That's
Terry
a
was
Villa,
assistant
yeah.
at Villa.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, Arteta, he's doing well right now, obviously, and you can say time is helping him. But I think being under Pep's wing for a few seasons, he definitely learned a few things on how to coach and how to control a team.
I think Arsenal honestly did Unai Emery dirty. I think he is such an underrated coach.
He's been doing well, yeah. He's with Villarreal, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, they look good. Yeah, no, it's
I mean,
unfortunate.
they're gonna knock Juve at the Champo probably. So
Ooh.
I mean, look, they're doing well in Europe, but look at them in the league table. What are they, 8th? So, I mean, it's a give and a take.
Yeah, but Pete,
Yeah.
they're Europa League merchants. They
No.
live in that league.
now that's Sevilla. Sevilla Europa League.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sevilla is Europa League merchants.
And United.
Yeah.
United too. So let's just talk about, how we were talking about inflation with players, current prices being so high in this market. Let's look at some of the big transfers we had from the past window or two. And we can start off with Lukaku.
97.5 million. Is this his euros, I assume?
Yes, I try to find the euro conversion. I'm pretty sure it's all right. God forbid I'm off a little bit, but what we kind of should do here is just kind of talk about. We can go around again like we do the Champions League, whether or not looking back on them, these summer transfers, were they worth it? So Fig, what do you think? You're the big Prem fan. Where do you think Lukaku's been worth it for Chelsea for that much?
No, I do not. I think he was really good at Inter, but I think that's due to the way that Conte played the team and him up top with Lautaro. 97.5 million, that's a lot of money for a striker. And I don't think he's really made his money yet at Chelsea. I mean, he doesn't even play that much at Chelsea. I don't know if he's been injured or what, but Tuchel hasn't been playing him.
Comes off the bench too sometimes, right?
Yeah,
he's been injured though. He has been injured.
Yeah, but there is a lot of money to spend and not really have gotten anything back in value. So I don't think Lukaku is. I think it's a good purchase because he was really good. I would have probably purchased him, but I don't think that much is the right value for him. I don't know. What do you guys think?
It was a good sale for Inter. That's what I would say.
Great sale.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was a good sale for Inter. I mean, I feel like Chelsea kind of did this so stupidly because they had Lukaku to begin with, and they kind of let him go ring around the rosy, and then they spent an extra 60 million buying him back, and now he's what? Yep. You know what I mean? I feel like they kind of needed something different. But we'll see. There's still definitely a lot of time left. Lukaku he's still hurt, like we said, so we'll see what kind of impact he makes.
Mm-hmm.
You got a little Ronald McDonald, CR7, Mr. Sue.
Mr. Sue.
Cheap transfer too, less than 13 million euros. I mean, I'm going to start off with this one. I mean, regardless of him not playing as well as he maybe should, I mean, that's a steal for a player like him, right?
I think that's a great signing for Man U.
Yeah, great signing.
In my opinion, when it comes to someone like Ronaldo, it's not the transfer because he's older. So technically, no one's really going to pay that much for him. It's more his wages that kind of kill you.
Wages is what I get. Yeah, it's wages.
Right. But I think at the same time, it's you're paying that much for guaranteed 20 goals a season. It's guaranteed. No matter what, no matter where he's going, he's scoring 20 goals a season.
And you're getting leadership out of it. You're getting experience out of it. You're getting Champions League masterclass.
Yeah, winning mentality. Yeah, no, definitely good for the club because that club doesn't win anything. So,
I mean, I agree, but like I was saying earlier, I feel like if you go watch the Manchester United games, the minute Ronaldo gets frustrated, he just starts picking out players and tell them what they like.
He has an ego.
He does have an ego, and I feel like with Manchester United having so many young kids, you can't have a player that's kind of like, in a way, he's kind of a cancer to the locker room. I mean, like, if you're 20 years old and someone like Ronaldo is pointing his finger in your face saying you're not good enough, you're like, oh, Jesus, you know what I mean? So I feel like
it can be demoralizing.
I think
but you can also the other way around. I feel like he can help the locker room a lot. I've seen videos. I mean, from that Juve documentary that they had, you can see like locker room videos where you see Ronaldo, how much he cares about the game. And as much as he might like during the game intimidate players and be like, what do you do? Like stuff like that. I think he can help out a lot.
He expects a lot from his teammates, and it's good and it's bad.
You actually, like you mentioned, you could see in the documentary, you have Ronaldo walks into the locker room at halftime. They're losing in the Champions League. And he throws off his jersey, throws it on the ground. He talks to Cuadrado. He's like, we play like shit. We play like shit. And Cuadrado's like, Chris, like, calm down. It's okay. And he's like, no, it's not okay. This is the Champions League. This isn't friendly, blah, blah, blah. And, it goes to show that he's at a different level than everyone else.
Yeah.
It's that Jordan mentality.
Exactly.
That Mamba mentality.
How about Odegaard?
I think Odegaard has been absolutely sensational. I mean, it took him a little bit to kind of get there. And plus, I still rate Smith Rowe higher than Odegaard, but I think Odegaard has shown in the past few weeks that he can be the player that Arsenal did need to kind of connect that final pass and and get them to start getting some assists and some goals.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Odegaard's been really good for Arsenal. He's like that midfield maestro they need to help get from the defense to the attack, along with Smith Rowe that they have. And I mean, it's showing that they're doing really well in the league right now. So I think that's a good transfer. 34 million. He's still pretty young, I think. So I think that's a fair price value for him.
I remember when he had that whole Real transfer, I was like, damn, this kid this young, like he's got to be insane. And we never really got to see anything out of him.
He was supposed to be like the best player of like the best next young talent, or like, Odegaard, and then he just like fell off for like 2 or 3 years.
Exactly. Now we're finally getting to see what he's all about, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially for 34 million euros too. If he keeps this up and somebody wants to buy him, Arsenal can flip him for some good profit, you know.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like for Real Madrid, at least, a lot of attacking midfielders that they've bought have always kind of struggled. You know what I mean? I mean, like, look at Isco. I think Isco I still think he is a really good player. Anywhere if they sell him and he goes somewhere, I would prefer him in the Serie A because I think his play style fits very similar over there.
Should come to Milan.
I think he would shine very well over there. But like him, Odegaard, plus like you're never gonna outshine Modric, Cruz. You know what I mean? They're class. So
Yeah.
Luca, you want to hit the next one?
Yeah, sure. So one I mentioned here was because, you know, he's been really good, or maybe not really good, but, you know, he's been a solid player, I would say, for Roma. Tammy Abraham for 34 million euros. Gio, what do you think about this signing for them?
I think he's been pretty good. He started firing off in the beginning of the season. He scored a couple braces here and there. He slowed down a little bit, but, you know, he's still Roma's leading goal scorer. I think he has, 9 goals in this area? I could be wrong.
Not sure, but
somewhere
not sure.
around that.
That's still a good number for a young striker. And, yeah, he's impressed me so far.
8 goals, by the way, just to fact check you.
It's pretty close. We'll give it to him.
Pete, what do you think about Abraham?
I love this transfer. I mean, I've loved this transfer from the beginning. I've always thought Tammy Abraham was good. I feel like Chelsea didn't really give him that much of a chance. It was a year, not even, and they were already like threw him to the side. I think he's definitely similar to Osimhen, where they kind of just work their butt off, and obviously defense starts from the top. So I think he's been absolutely instrumental in how they've been playing and where they are at in the league right now. So
yeah, I agree with what Pete said. I mean, I think it's a good signing. He didn't really get enough shine at Chelsea or enough time, and he's showing now in the Serie A that he can play, which is just going to make his value go up. 34 million is a pretty good number for Roma to have bought him at, and I think he can only really go up for right now. So I think that's a good purchase for them.
Go
ahead. No, go ahead.
What's your nickname for him? Scrammy Tammy?
Scrammy Tammy, yeah, that's what they call him, Scrammy Tammy.
You think he'll ever take the number 9 spot in England or no?
As long as Kane's around now. I mean, what? Kane's like 28 now?
I don't know.
And Tammy is a few years younger than
23, 24.
Yeah, I mean, there's potential if he can keep playing like he's playing. But, I mean, there's so many England, like, talents and youth players. It's hard to think about that right now as to who's going to be the future.
Speaking of a young English talent, I want to talk about Jadon Sancho for United. A whopping 85 million euros, I believe. That's
an L transfer.
Yeah. What do you think about it, Fig? Do you anything more to add?
I think Sancho was good at Dortmund, and I see why they paid this much for him, and he showed that he can be good. But it's the whole idea of you're changing leagues. You're going from the Bundesliga to the Premier League. It's a whole different play style. He hasn't experienced. I mean, I'm sure he played academy there, or I don't even know if he did. I think he was at Dortmund for a while when he was young. But going from a German league to an English league at such a high value at such a young age, I mean, there's so much pressure, and it's Man U too. You're not going to like a lower end team. You're going straight into Man U. There's a lot of pressure on it, and he has not showed nearly 85 million worth of a transfer right now. So that's just not. It's a great sell from Dortmund. They made a lot of money off of him, but Man U has not gotten what they wanted out of that. I don't think.
Yeah, what do you think?
I loved watching some clips of him playing at Dortmund. He's for the streets. Like that kid could ball
for the streets.
I think he's a great player. I think he just hasn't. I don't know. He hasn't found it yet at United.
Yeah,
that's really all it is. He scored that one goal. Was it Champions League? That he really started He
Maybe,
scored
yeah.
one goal, and then I think he scored again in the next game, and then that's it. Then he stopped.
Yeah.
So
Pete,
that's
what do
it.
you think?
I mean, I feel like there's a lot of young players at Manchester United too, so it's kind of like there's a lot of competition there. A lot of players that are hungry to play. But 85 million, like we said, the jump from Bundesliga to Premier League it's massive. There's not many players that can just go to a league like that, like go from Bundesliga to Premier League and just absolutely shine. It's a tough ask. But I mean, still got a lot of time. He's still young.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, I've never really been truly a fan of Sancho, in my opinion. I never thought he was like all that everyone makes him out to be, especially not 85 million. But we'll see. Still got time.
Quick question I want to ask you before we move on to the next player. So, obviously came from Dortmund, English player, right? And now over at Dortmund, there's another good English talent, Jude Bellingham. What do we think of him? Do we think that he could be another player who goes to a United, a City, a Liverpool for like 85 million euros? Do we think
Let
it
him
would work out?
Let him grow. Let him do his thing. He's a bowler too.
Yeah, I think he's really good.
I like Jude Bellingham a lot. I think he's going to go to Liverpool. That's my guess. You heard it here first.
He's going to go to a big club in England. And he's so young. He's like 18.
Yeah.
Like, he's crazy young. He has so many years ahead of him, and he's already getting the spotlight like that. So they don't need to rush anything like that, like they have with Sancho. I feel like he needs to just grow. Yeah. But I think in the future, he's going to be a big player for England.
Plus, I
Yeah,
mean,
no.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I was just saying that. All good, bud.
All right. Well, I was gonna say plus, like you also have Holland up top, so we kind of have to see what he has without having that absolute like killer instinct striker. I mean,
Yeah.
That is true.
He scored that one goal though that was phenomenal. I don't know who that was against, but that on the left side when he like cut in.
Yeah, that was
I
true.
remember
ripped
that.
it.
I don't know if that was again. But he's not an attacking. He's more of like a defensive mid, I feel like. I don't know.
Maybe central. I don't know.
He plays
we'll
both attacking and defensive.
yeah.
Do you rate Jack Grealish?
Yeah, Luca, do you rate Grealish?
Yeah, this is a Luca question here.
Now that I think about it, I don't. But in all seriousness, we all know I don't rate Jack Grealish, but 100 million euros for him. That's crazy. Does he even start Goodson?
Not every game, no. They have so much.
Oh,
They have
God.
so much depth though with City. I'm not saying he's worth that at all because I do not think he's worth that nearly that.
Yeah.
But there's so much depth in City that it's hard to start every game. You see the lineup, and Pep has a different lineup every single game. But Grealish, 100 mil. I mean, City have the money to buy it, but it doesn't mean it's worth it, and he's not worth near 100 mil. I don't think. I think he's a
Gio,
good
do you
player.
rate
I don't think
Jack
he's worth it.
Grealish?
That's just inflation, like doing its thing. Like he's way too overrated. If he's worth that much, Chiesa's worth 120 mil.
I mean,
200 million, I'd
Yeah,
argue.
he's better than Grealish right now. Yeah, I'd say that. But I think Grealish is still a good player.
I think
Question.
he's a good player as well, but not worth that much.
No way.
Question. Do you think they should have not signed Grealish and just went to Harry Kane and be like, look, we have Tottenham and be like, look, 100 million.
I don't know. I don't know if they needed Kane. Look at the way they're playing. They run Bernardo at the 9, and it works. Like, if they bring in an actual striker, does it change how City plays? Does that affect them negatively? I don't know. They don't
Good
really
point.
need him.
Every team should want Bernardo. I think Bernardo Silva's a phenomenal guy.
Yeah, him and Salah are the best players in the league right now. I think
Yeah.
comfortably.
So last player we're going to mention from the Prem. We talked about him briefly before, but we said Varane. He was bought for 34 million euros. And it's cheap, but I mean, what do you guys think?
He sucks.
Yeah. I mean, I could start us off on this if you
Yeah,
want.
go ahead.
I mean,
Yeah,
like,
go for it.
I think that he was just really overrated because when you have Sergio Ramos right next to you and Carvajal, I mean, dude, you have one of the best outside backs, in my opinion, in the world defensively, and then you have one of the best center backs to ever play next to you. So obviously, even though you're young, the mistakes you make, you still have very experienced, very quality players that can kind of cover up your mistakes. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I think he was overrated from the jump, but I mean, we'll see. He's another one who's still young and still has time, but
I think that Varane's one of those players that he has a really good resume if you think about what he's achieved already in his career, and that makes his value higher. I mean, he has a World Cup already. He has multiple Champions Leagues with Madrid. But when you look at how he actually plays individually, I mean, like you said, next to Ramos, it's hard to look that bad when you're next to a center back of that quality. And then I've never really rated him that highly. Honestly, 34 mil, not that expensive, but he has time again. But I don't think it's been that good for Man U with Varane.
We'll see. We'll see his true colors this season. Next to Maguire, we'll see how he can do. He can play alone because playing next to Maguire is playing alone, and I really
Playing alone.
I think it's going to be a meme. That back line is now that he's finally fit. All these United fans are really excited for it. I think it's going to be funny to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So speaking of back line, we talked about right backs. Pete said Carvajal, one of the best defensive right backs in the world. A player PSG bought from Inter for a lot of money is Hakimi for 70 million euros. I personally think he's a great player, and I'm pretty sure he's young too, very fast. I just don't know if 70 million was the right price tag. I would maybe argue 50 million. I don't know what your guys' opinion is on that, but I feel like it's a little too expensive for me.
I'm gonna go against you on this one, Luca. I think the way the game's going, that outside backs are becoming so popular in the way that they're playing. I think that's a player that is ranked maybe a little less, maybe 50 mil, but that he's in the right spot for me at least.
That's fair.
Well, I was gonna say, well, here's my thing. If Ferran Torres is 50 million, I think Hakimi's worth 70 million.
Yeah, you gotta put into perspective how much other people are worth, and you can just it puts it into reality. I think Hakimi's good. 70 mil, I guess you could say it's fair. He's a good attacking fullback. He's pacey. He's good attacking. He's good defending. I mean, I don't know. I think it's worth it.
Do we think that he's the best right back in the world? I mean, I would maybe argue João Cancelo, who's a baller. He's an absolute stud. But do you guys think Hakimi's the best in the world, or
no?
Do you think soon?
I don't know. He's top three. I think it's him, Trent, and Cancelo.
That's fair. I'd say the same.
Yeah, I was gonna say Trent is definitely, I think, my opinion. Him and Cancelo are definitely top two.
But is Trent a good defender though? Because I feel like Trent, he's a great right back, but I feel like him is he's more of a right winger.
Yeah,
the way the things he kind of contributes. So,
how I see Trent is he's the best attacking fullback in the league or in the world, I'd say. Defensively, he's not great, but he does enough to defend. I mean, he can defend, but he's not good. He's not great at it compared to
that's fair.
Reece James. Reece James is a solid defensive right back, but I think it makes up for it with Trent's attacking prowess. If you play him right, like Klopp plays him, getting up the wings, it's just those crosses coming in. It's steadily you get goals like that. He assists so many times. It's just having that on the team is just so good in today's age with how important left backs and right backs can be.
Yeah, that's a perfect point. I think, like I mentioned before, you just said the outside backs, the wing backs, more advanced position on the field. I think that's where the game's going, where it's headed. So if you have players like that on your team, you are equipped. You're equipped.
Liverpool's so good. They use Robertson and Trent so well.
Just swinging balls in the whole game.
Oh my God, yeah.
I mean, plus you want to know another player I'd probably put up there in top three? Cuadrado. I mean, I think Cuadrado's been a stud for Juve for the past 2-3 years.
Yeah, he's been good.
It's a good shot. I wouldn't say he's top five, honestly, because again, he's not a good defender. He's really good at crossing. He's pinpoint accuracy, putting the ball in someone's head, but you don't really see that as much without Ronaldo.
I mean, Cuadrado's a traditional winger though, / right midfielder, because you guys know he's been playing there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, moving on. A player that Bayern Munich bought for the fee of 42.5 million euros is Upamecano. And honestly, I think he's been solid. I'd say he's been worth it for that amount.
I haven't watched enough of Bayern play, to be honest with you, with Upamecano.
I mean, I'm looking at his stats right here. He's played 15 matches in the Bundesliga, 5 in the Champions League, and now nothing really defensive, no defensive stats here, but he scored a goal and had 4 assists. As a defender, center back, so I'd say that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm just looking right now. His last game, he, like you mentioned, he scored. He scored Wolfsburg, and he was the best player on the field, rating a 9.0 rating. So,
yeah. I mean, I think – go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm saying if we're going on form, I guess you could say he's an informed defender. I do think that Sule for me has always been a great defender. The guy's a mountain. He's a
Yeah,
beast.
he's a giant.
So I think that they're pretty good back there. They don't need that much help. So
Yeah, and they're finding the attack as well.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, I agree. I think this 42.5 million was a great transfer in my opinion because look at Bayern. I mean, they really don't concede a lot. I mean, yeah, they score a lot, so usually they're not really going to concede too much, but they don't concede that much in the league. He's still a very, very young player as well. So yeah, I mean, 42.5 million I think was a great signing for them, and he's been playing like you said. He has a few assists and a goal. I mean, we'll take that.
Mm-hmm.
So, last player we're going to discuss today, and he's been a beast. He's been a baller for my AC Milan. We bought him from Chelsea for 28.5 million euros. Fikayo Tomori, to me, has been honestly maybe top 3 transfers this season for the amount of money we bought him for.
I think
Gio, if you want to start.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Gio. Yeah.
I like watching Milan play because of all these young players. Tomori, he's so fast. For a center back, his footwork is pretty incredible. And he's got a lot to bring to the game. He'll drive through the midfield. He's not afraid to dribble with the ball. And he's smart with his passes. He makes good tackles. I think he's everything that you want in a center back. So
I'd say that, I mean, similar to Abraham, he's another Chelsea player going into the Serie A, making a name for himself. They're doing pretty well. I haven't watched enough of Milan or the Serie A to see how Tomori's doing, but I've seen stats. I've seen posts of Tomori just being a boss at the back for Milan. I mean, they're in second place right now, so something's right with their defense. And I mean, 28.5, that's a steal, I would say. That's a good price to get for Tomori.
Yeah.
So I think it's worth it. Very good signing for them.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm going to agree. Tomori, great signing. I mean, the transition from the Premier League to the Serie A really was there. I mean, obviously, you're going to need either the Serie A, well, in soccer in general, you either are kind of slower, but you have a lot of experience and know how to kind of just get in the attacker's head, or you have a lot of speed. You're very physical, and I think Tomori is that. And I think he's been instrumental, especially next to someone like Kier, who's kind of a little bit slower, but has more experience in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think that was a great signing for them as well.
No, yeah, there's definitely a lot to learn. And, I'm really happy we bought him because I remember, I believe it was last transfer window, Milan, some news came out like, oh, they're looking at the center back from Chelsea. I didn't know him much. I imagine Goodson knew him.
Yeah.
But he came in and he's been a baller. He took over that starting role immediately. And I'm just really happy that we got him. And I honestly, Gio, I'm not going to lie, and Pete, I know Goodson, you're not the biggest fan of the Serie A, but I think he's been top 2 or 3 defenders this season after like Koulibaly and then maybe like Chiellini or De Ligt. I feel like he's like a top 3 defender.
I agree. I think he definitely pulls ahead in the center back list. He's been great. He's been keeping Milan up there. He doesn't make any errors. I don't see him mess up, so it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think that's all for today, right, guys?
Yeah, I think we're all good.
All right, boys. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to episode 2. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. Everything, the Amazon Audible link is going to be in the description. I'm going to keep doing this for a little bit. But, yeah, thank you, guys. Tune in next week for the next episode.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Peace.